Hi friends, it's Deja from the Bronx Children's Museum. I hope you're having an awesome day and you're super excited to learn some fun new things. Today, we have a very special guest. She's a famous actress, author, and she grew up right here in the Bronx. You might even know her as Maria from Sesame Street, the role she played for over 40 years. If you guessed it, you're right. The famous Sonia Manzano. Today we're going to be learning about Sonia's experience growing up in the Bronx and how she dreamed big and achieved her goals. And she's also going to give us a special treat. She's going to read her new book that she wrote with National Geographic called A World Together. Take it away, Sonia.
Hello, I'm Sonia Manzano. I noticed when I was watching TV as a little girl that there weren't a lot of people who looked like me. And I decided that I wanted to change that. I worked hard so I could go to acting school, and eventually I got a part on Sesame Street playing Maria. And after that, I decided that I wanted to tell stories in a different way. So I started writing children's books. I hope that children who see me on television or read one of my books will say, if I work hard and succeed a little bit every day, my little dreams will turn into big dreams. And dreaming big is the way to go. I want to read you my latest book, A World Together. Some of the images you'll see in this book are of people doing things that aren't safe to do right now because of the coronavirus. Things like hugging friends and family or being in big crowds of people. Hopefully, we'll all be able to do those things again. Stay safe, everyone. It's a different kind of book for me because usually my books are full of just words or illustrations or drawings, but this book is full of pictures. It's full of pictures of kids all over the world, and it shows how we're so much the same no matter where we live. So, here we go. A World Together. How many wonderful people do you know? You know your family and friends. You know your neighbors and teachers. Now take a look at all of the pictures here. There's a kid learning how to roller skate, and there's a little kid laughing with her mother. Oh, how about this? Did you know there are about 8 billion people on the planet? That's more than you can count in your whole lifetime. They live on different continents in different countries. Now, what does this remind you of? Does this look like Orchard Beach or Coney Island? Of course, today we can't have that many people crowded together on the beach like that because of coronavirus. Do you wonder what kinds of houses they live in? Some people live in houses like that. Mostly of the people I know live in houses like this, but this looks like it's in Florida because of the palm trees. You can get little clues from photographs if you look very closely. All these people hug and show love in the same way you do. They get warmed by the same sun and sleep under the same stars. And what kid doesn't like to be thrown up in their air by their parent? They all do. Whoa, this is my favorite. Do you wonder about what people eat? Imagine all the different foods you can taste. Dumplings, meatballs, tortillas, baba ganoush, pizza. One thing you can count on, no matter where they're from, no kid can resist dessert. And I think if I had to choose my favorite, it would have to be the ice cream. I don't know. This looks pretty good too. Is your stomach rumbling? And while your school may be different, now imagine going to a school like this. Look at all those kids. I like this kid looking right at the camera here. And your games may be different, though that doesn't look very different. I see a lot of kids playing basketball. That looks pretty much the same. And your dancing may be different. I really love the little girls hands. They're so articulated. And your art may be different. Oh, I love this one. Isn't it amazing that everyone loves to learn and play and move and create? Now, this is a scene that I'm very familiar with. A lot of times when I was growing up in the Bronx, that would be the most fun, was when they opened up the pump. So I know just how those little kids feel. Other kids might speak a different language from you. It might sound a little different the first time you hear it, but you can still share stories, and isn't it fun to talk with new friends? And they're sharing a story. I don't know what language they're speaking in, but I remember when I was a kid and kids used to come in from Puerto Rico and they didn't speak English. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to speak Spanish. And I had to try to remember all the Spanish words that I knew so I can talk to my new friends. Some days you might feel happy or sad, excited or worried, glad or mad. Everyone in the world has felt these feelings. And, this is a very interesting picture of this kid is really angry. This one is suspicious somehow, and she's a little suspicious, but she feels warm. We all feel things that are the same. And when people feel scared, they sometimes forget that deep down we're all the same. And this is a very sad picture. It looks like a little boy saying goodbye to his soldier father. When they laugh together, they remember, and with laughter and love, we bring a world together. And here these two people are enjoying themselves and being tickled. That's because the world is full of wonderful people just like you. Just tickling her in her ear. Do you like to get kissed in your ear? I can feel it. And then the book tells you where all the pictures were taken in Ecuador and the United Kingdom and Uganda and Puerto Rico, as I dedicated the book to the children of Puerto Rico, and that's in Puerto Rico, and they're having fun in that waterfall. But before that, this is called the afterwards of a book, and that's me and my friend Rosita from Sesame Street, and I love these pictures as a kid. This is my mother, my older sister actually, and this is my mother and her aunt on the rooftop in the building that we lived. But these are the two pictures that I loved the most because I had never been to Puerto Rico, and I wondered how it was to live in like a wooden shack like that, and how they looked so pretty even though they lived in that wooden shack, and I was fascinated by these pictures. I felt I understood my mother and my sister a little bit better, and that's the power of a photograph. You can understand people a little better just by looking at them very closely. So that's the end of my book, A World Together. I hope you enjoyed my reading. Thanks.
Wow, I really enjoyed that book. What was your favorite photograph? One of the best things about photos is that they can tell a story. And some of Sonia's favorite photos are shot by Bronx photographers David Gonzalez and Ricky Flores. Let's listen to Sonia tell us about them.
I love his pictures. I love the pictures of his kids dancing in the Bronx. It reminds me of the picture of the little girl with the articulated hands who is dancing in my book. I really love the pictures that he takes of parents and their children in the Bronx, which looks like so many of the parents and children in my book that are having so much fun. The other photographer I want to share with you is David Gonzalez. Now, he is also a columnist for the New York Times, and his photography is wonderful. I love the picture of the kid flying through the air right before he goes into the water. You have to really catch that picture right on time. I love the grandfather with the little girl with the Puerto Rican flag. I love the little girl dancing because she's like knocking her knees together. That's very funny. But my favorite David Gonzalez photo is one that I actually have a copy of, and it's the couple dancing in the street in the Bronx. And I love that the male dancer is holding the woman's purse in her back. I love that the skirt and the jacket are swaying as they move, and I love her heels, her sling-back shoes, and the way they caress her heels as she's dancing. Now, if you had to take a picture to show how you wanted the world to be, what would that picture be? Who would be in it? What title would you give it? This is Sonia Manzano saying goodbye in front of my favorite David Gonzalez photograph. Adios!
Thank you so much for joining Sonia and me today and learning about her life experiences growing up in the Bronx and how she dreamed big and accomplished all of her goals. Her book really reminded us that photos tell a story and that all over the world, even though we may look different, speak different languages, and have different cultures, customs, and identities, we're awesome individually, but we're even cooler when we come together and we dream big to celebrate our differences. Thank you again so much for joining us today, and remember, keep on dreaming big.